Okay, so this is going to be the cold moon for December in 2023. Its general theme is in the cold of winter, warming and opening the heart. And so the directions, we start with the east. The wind, dragon's wing, knowledge, wisdom, freedom, flight, movement, all the things that fly, soar, and glide. We welcome you in. To the south, to the fire, to the dragon's flame, the fuel within our souls, the warmth that keeps us alive, to the spark that gives all life to new ideas. To the east, to the earth, to the ground beneath our feet, to all those who have come before us, who will come after us, and who are here now, and all the ancestors and all the creatures great and small, we welcome. And to the north, to the water, to endless vast wisdom, endlessly flowing emotions, the ebbs and flows of the waves, of all the creatures that live in, on, and under the water. We welcome you in. To the great mother below us, provider of all our life, the nurturer, protector, and giver of all that we know. We welcome you in. And to the Father above us, to the great sky, to the light and the wisdom and the guidance given to us and the breath of life that brought us forth, we welcome you into our circle. And to the time of here and the now, for there is no past, there is no future, only the present. For all things that are happening now create the ripple effects in which we see and gain and provide for them. Welcome. Today's a little different because I actually have a guest over here who may chime in from time to time as I go along. Good friend of mine, Jeff, the owner of Celestial Awakenings here in Vancouver. Because, you gotta have a crystal shop owner come in every now and then to help you with your little crystal grid bits. Okay, so things we're working with today, as I realized I forgot something. First main piece, Sapphire, blue corundum. Now, it's not going to be the gemmy stuff because that's a very small fragment of this that's being cut and shaped, and it's pretty, but not necessary to cut it. See, sapphire is a aluminum oxide. It's a very hard stone at a Mohs hardness of 9. It's a throat stone. The Sanskrit meaning of it is dear to the planet of Saturn. So, and because it's in Sanskrit, it means all the way back in Vedic healing they were using this stone. It's a stone of wisdom, granting focus and calming the mind, or releasing unwanted thoughts and mental tension. Helps to deal with depression and spiritual confusion, attracting prosperity and all kinds of gifts. So, in dealing with the winter times, depression and those mood swings are very big. So this helps to kind of chill that out while also boosting all of the mental activity. And if you're having boosted mental activity, wouldn't you like it to be a little more on the positive side than on the crazy, all over the place, like neurotic side?
Pretty obvious.
Right? I actually realized I have these guys shifted wrong because I had an idea in my head. So I have to go and we're gonna shimmy. The East always likes to flop around because we're changing things up.
Notice you're using the Vogel healers to bring the energy into the center of the grid.
Yes.
Okay. This is the female side. The male side is the longer.
Mm-hmm. And I will try to like flip them around about halfway through, because you know, on the full moon, yeah, it's actually a release. So you want to send out, and then you want to pull in. Yeah. So we can.
I'm catching him in bloopers.
Right.
This might be the blooper reel.
Well, it's like with these, I always get them backwards because it's counterintuitive.
I know it.
Right. Like,
Are those programmed, or are they just set to run energy?
They are set to do as the grid does.
Okay.
Right.
So they will be programmed by the grid.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. That's why I give it like a day or two where I take everything down, just have it completely blank to let them clean themselves out. And it's like this thing in the middle here is just basically a giant battery.
No kidding.
Right? Like that's all it's here to do is collect, store, and spin energy. The next stone in this grid is going to be Pyrite, iron sulfate. As you can tell with it's very cubic. It's very structurally sound and strong. Stable. Let's see. It's great for like confidence and like that boosting of like that masculine energy.
Divine masculine, yeah.
Right? Specifically the divine, because it's going to make you feel more empowered within yourself. But at the same time, if you have a lot of that toxic masculine traits where it's like that macho man mindset, this is going to irritate you because those things aren't going to work. Right? But Pyrite's also a sparking stone, which means when you hit them together, and it's like in the more of a raw form, you can create fire, and that's kind of like we need a little bit of a fuel source with this because everything's going to be on the colder side.
Here's a fun one for you. You ever taken a jet? Not talking the airplane type, but the crystal type, on cotton sheets?
Oh yeah,
you get a spark. I almost lit a bed on fire doing that once. I said almost. It was close.
You got to be careful with that.
I thought I could go further.
Things can go a little cray-cray.
I could go further. I honestly thought I could go further. Started smelling and I was like, oh, that's enough.
Right?
Yeah. Flannel.
Right. Got to be careful when playing with fire, both literally and figuratively.
Ooh, we got a switch up there. What'd you do?
Well, this one's got pyrite in it, but it also has some galena.
Okay.
And Sapphire. I think that's what the black stuff is.
Probably.
In there.
Sapphire. Galena gives it good ground.
Yep.
And you put it in the where direction?
Southwest.
Southwest. I like that. Okay.
Yeah. And it's like it's all gonna make some sense. Some semblance of sense at least.
Someday.
Right? Because next we're throwing in to kind of go into more of the mental area is blue apatite. Right? Like this is it's an interface between the consciousness of matter, or the consciousness and matter. So it's a stone of manifestation, and it can help us connect to the future as well as our past lives. It helps with metaphysical development. So again, it's wintertime. We're kind of going internal. Might as well utilize that time to grow and build yourself a little bit more, right? It helps to clear frustration and support your passion without feeling guilty for it.
Whoa, big one.
Right? And it's like, especially now that it's in these cold months, we kind of need a little bit of that extra passion growth and fueling, because it's like when you're doing things creative like art and music, you're really not doing anything. So those very go go go, get them type energy isn't really going to work right now. This is like, hey, do the things where it doesn't look like you're being productive, because it might not look like it, but you are. You always are, no matter what. I'm actually going to go and shimmy. Ooh, there.
Clear the throat.
Yes, there's going to... Yeah, we got a lot of kind of throat movement coming in with this. We're going to have some third eye movement. And it's all kind of...
I feel the spirit lift. It's an up.
Yep. And then the way to kind of tie these three stones together, we're going to come into a personal favorite, but Actinolite. Now, from what I understand, Actinolite is essentially jade that went really gemmy in sheets. Because it's like it kind of grows in the same area.
Sheety jade.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And like the reason this is one of my favorites is because it expands the aura and crystallizes the edges. So it's basically giving you your safe space. Like it's just safe space in a stone. It is wonderful. Because it helps to dissolve the unwanted and inappropriate that kind of block or cause personal resistance to your own personal growth, as well as like anything connected to the heart, while also making you feel safe enough to work with and bring change to our own internal traumas. Because when you're going through it, that's really hard. It's unpleasant. It's unwanted. But you kind of got to do it no matter what. So we're gonna put you there, and there. And now, so now we're going to start getting into creating direction and patterning and flow.
And we mixed up what?
These are just an extra piece of pyrite, 2 more pieces of the apatite, and another piece of this sapphire.
Okay.
We're going to take those.
Try to line him up, right?
Yeah.
There he is.
There.
The other guy's a little wild too.
Yeah. Once I do a top down, I go and rearrange everything.
It's hard to see.
It is. It's very tricky, but once you figure it out, it makes sense. Next.
You guys should pay attention to like some of the lights and some of the reflections we're getting here, both off the Vogel as well as the citrine over here, because there's a light behind it.
Now, bringing in the next stone is a little bit Celestite. Now this is going to actually kind of calm things down, because this is a very soft, calm stone. It's like a very good spiritual teacher. It helps you to trust in the divine as well as yourself. Helps to promote purity of heart and maintaining harmony during stress. So when dealing with all of these things getting shifted and moved around and kind of twerked with, This is going to help to soothe all of that. It helps to cool down the fiery emotions. It brings together our intellect and our instinct. So anything that the pyrite might overstimulate, this is just like adding a cool glass of water. Because it's going to be very prominent. We're actually going to come. I hope I have
Very prominent.
Very prominent.
Do you know how many pieces you have?
Nope. I'm going to find out. And if I need to adjust, I have some connectors over here where I pulled out some lithium quartz. I pulled out just a bunch of little double terminated guys. And I still have one more stone to kind of add into the group, which is going to act more as the ring around the outside. And that'll be selenite.
Of course, yeah.
Right.
I like selenite because it's relatively inexpensive.
Right.
It's because it's easy to get, basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's easy to break, but it conducts so well and clears so well. It's an easy, inexpensive, real high fiber.
Oh, yeah.
So is this Celestite.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's starting to square up.
Yep.
I did not see that coming.
I kind of did.
Ooh. At this point, I have to keep moving around the table. Every time you change something, I clear something. So.
Oh, yeah. Jeff is going to have the fun experience of being a bystander while I make one of these. Because I've had plenty of times where I build a grid and I'm just got some friends over and they're just spun out. To me, it's kind of funny. But at the same time, a little rude.
Yeah, it's a little fun though. You got it.
Right? You got
I'm not saying nothing about doing that sometimes.
Exactly. Everybody needs a little spin from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to start incorporating in some attachment pieces.
Lithium.
Yep. This is
The
lithium.
conductor. Lithium is a metal.
Yep. I mean, anybody who's got some pretty hectic anxiety is very familiar with lithium, right? And if we think about what lithium can do for our body and minds on its own, imagine now what it's like trapped inside quartz.
Little amplifier on the edge, right?
Right? It's gonna make things happen, make things move.
Makes the mind nice and just straight.
Yeah.
Takes all that confusion that causes all that anxiety out.
Yeah.
Just straightens the synapses right up sometimes. I like a couple of pieces of lithium quartz in a foot soak. Yeah. That's a good one.
Then
Ooh, pointies.
we're also going to add in a couple Tibetan black spots.
Mainly, you like those because they're double T's?
Yeah, which is basically kind of why they're here, is because I want to keep this energy not necessarily restricted. You know, like I want it to have that freedom to go in both directions. Because it's like, that's kind of how the mind works. If it doesn't work in one way, you gotta switch gears, spin it around, and go in a different direction.
Also, if you're building any type of a circuit, you
need that back and forth.
Yeah, you need that motor running.
Yep.
That thing adds up quick, don't it?
Oh, yeah. It's like, anybody who's watched me do these for the last few years has seen me take them apart, put them together over and over and over again. because now we're going to come back, go to the second stones, and this time utilizing some fade-in quartz.
Oh, the electric healer.
Right? Which is just really, like, as a generic grid stone, it's awesome because it works with whatever
yeah, it's also got that silver cord that
with.
runs through it. It makes it conduct much better.
Exactly. So it's all kind of...
And it usually runs both ways, just like a double T, so it makes it sweet that way too.
Yep. That's why, I put them in here because like they got these multi-purposes coming in.
Starting to get warm in here.
Oh, yeah. It heats up pretty quick. Depending on where I'm at during the day, I'll start sweating. And just like, by the time I get to the end of these things, my hands are just drenched.
Mm-hmm.
Shimmy, shimmy.
Are those singers?
Oh no, these are all...
They make a lot of noise.
They do, but they're still just fade-ins. Simple and talkative. Very talkative. So I want to take and go pop. 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 Just large enough to denote the change in the direction. So it's like each of these ones in the center act as like a pivot point. Kind of like if you're going down a highway and it's like, oh, here's a roundabout. Which way are you going to go? You want to go left? You want to go right?
Like a train switch, maybe. I don't know.
Exactly. And there. And the last little addition is Selenite.
That's the one.
Right? This is a great moonstone if you're working any kind of moon energy.
Dude, no.
You're
just going to spray it, or what are you going to do?
I'm going to bring it all the way around at the edge, right? So it's going to kind of act as the barrier of things. But kind of before I do that, I'm going to grab the last of these. And I want them to
That's a wild one.
Yeah. Put these guys like here.
I like that. Which way you want them to run?
Oops, put these on the wrong side. Right. Last few fade in. And then I'm just gonna bring these guys in.
Find it interesting. I want to be able to.
This is going to be a very kind of an interesting energy for this month. Because according to some of the astrology people I follow on social media, you've got a whole bunch of astrological stuff all happening right now.
Yay.
And but it's like,
just when you thought Uranus had enough.
Well, it's actually, it's like, it's on a good side. It's just the process to getting to there. When you finally have, planets coming out of retrograde or going direct all at the same time.
It's
in
usually
like
a more positive flow.
Right? And in the same sign,
Mostly.
right? And especially when you put one of those planets into an exalted sign, so then anything else also there is going to be doing something funky. Yeah, I think I saw something about like Jupiter goes direct at the same time that like Venus enters Sagittarius, and Jupiter's also in Sagittarius, where it's like exalted, or it's ruled by it or something like that, and blah blah blah, and it's just like, oh, lovely. Just lovely. Because it's going to mean that a lot of things we've been working for are going to kind of come to fruition. But at the same time, a lot of what we've been working on and boundaries and things, they might get tested.
Might, huh?
Might.
Yanks.
With a very big emphasis on the might. Right? So things are going to get a little rocky and unsteady. So it's like...
Oof. Testing.
It's very testing, right? But then it's like, okay, you see what we're working with. If we're going to be tested, a little bit of coolness to calm those emotions, a little bit of that stability to kind of stand in your power and your groundedness, right? Without swaying to their attempts to make you unstable, to giving you the safe space to go to after dealing with all of that. And even better yet, maintaining this within yourself while dealing with it.
And how kismet is this that I was just this very day talking with someone about this exact same thing.
That's why I love these grids, because they're on point, right? Because it's like we got this little bit of this like intense mental focus and clarity, but also it's like it's going to help keep away a lot of the backlash that might come from these potential confrontations, right? And it's like, by keeping an open mind, it's keeping you objective to all of those situations. And it's like, even if you're not having like a direct interpersonal conflict, it could be a more internal mental one, right? And like that, it can cause like your own internal process can be fucked up with all of this, right? And this is going to help to calm it down. It's going to soothe that energy by throwing in the lithium and the Faden quartz. It's helping to connect all of those processes while in conducting all that energy, while also just smoothing it, right? Because it's far too easy for this to go a little haywire. Like, if I were to
you spin yourself out of control doing that stuff, right?
Exactly. Like, if I were to do something simple, thinking like, oh, maybe if I just added some more iron in and put in like a hematite quartz, but it's like, what also is a hematite quartz known as? But harlequin quartz, right? So it's like you're throwing in a trickster energy, which might fuck things up even more, where it's like, no, we're going something that's...
Toss a coyote tail in the middle of all of it.
Right? And it's like, we don't need that kind of...
No, not this time of year.
Right? So it's like, we're just going to kind of keep it like this.
Like we just got over Christmas. We don't need funny.
Right? Like, this is supposed to be a kind of time of going inside and just, having the ability to hash it out if it needs hashing. Right?
But standing your ground.
Yes. And it's like, and that's important. We need that. We need that space and that ability. And lastly, we get to take some of the final pieces that don't necessarily have a space on the grid, but they're here to bring it all together. I'll set that up there.
Oop.
Oh, no. This guy's got like 2 balance points.
What'd you stuff in there?
That's just a larger piece of the Actinolite, another little sliver of Apatite that I think actually broke off of this guy,
Okay.
and a nice little Celestite, Celestite topper. Now,
Spin her up.
first things first, you bring it in, and we're going to have this not only run the energy, but connect it all together. You know, that's just simple, clear chords. That's what it's here for. And as you see, it's going to hit the major channel pathways, make sure those are flowing, and then as it kind of goes through.
It's a little check and balance, isn't it?
Yep.
There it goes.
And now that it's all going, it's going to start spinning itself.
It's gonna flow.
Right?
Does that have something to do with the argon that's in there too? Is that an argon underneath there, right? Shungite, argon?
It's got a whole
Copper on
bunch
it.
of shit. It's got a lot in there.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
Careful, I don't blow your towers.
mm-hmm.
Watch it. There you
Mm-hmm. My usual problem is making sure I don't hit the chair.
go. Good job there. Oh, that thing's spinning. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Because now that we made full circle, just go and follow through all the connection lines.
I usually do this part with a double terminated wand and run energy to the points. I like this.
Yeah, I'm doing this to kind of mitigate as much of my own influence into it as possible. It's like all I'm doing,
You let it spin.
yeah, and holding the cord.
So it hits the chair.
Mm-hmm.
Gets nice and close there. It'll light that thing up. There you go.
Yeah. And then, just because even if they have some form of a ground indent, doesn't mean that's a very good ground. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So then you come through
With a double or
with a
tourmaline, yeah?
Yep, tourmaline, and just okay. It's like we already have a flow, we already have the connection going. Now we just need to make sure it's not going to spin us out of control and knock ourselves on our asses.
That would not be fun.
Not
It's
at
supposed
all.
to be gentle.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, we're supposed to have a calm winter, as calm as we can, with everything that's going on.
Ooh, watch that spin. That was cool.
Mm-hmm. You see, as soon as I like straightened it up a little bit, it's like meow. Yeah. Plus, that's always just a good indicator of how everything's
Fits.
flowing and moving, and it's like, oh, yep, there was a little bit of a weak connection there.
Mm-hmm.
Suck them back down. Oh, that's from my amber back one. No.
Okay. Now what?
last but not least, we come in, we bring our little spirit of the grid. It's a little spirit doll a friend of mine made that I shoved a double terminated quartz and piece of kyanite up into its head.
I like it.
Right? I'll come through now.
Smoke her out.
Yeah.
Spin her up.
Right, give it life, give it breath. And it's like because I have access to them and I understand them very well, I incorporate the Reiki symbols into it because they just work.
Belief systems carry energy.
Right? I mean,
Enough people believe, that's more energy.
yeah. It's always been one of those things that even when I didn't really believe and I was skeptical but like curious, it all
You were rock curious.
came through and it makes sense.
I was rock curious once. I came out of the cave in, I don't know, 04. Or went into the cave, sorry.
Right? I'm gonna get that a little there.
Oof.
If Sir Chad was here, he would refer to this as sealing the deal.
Sealing the deal. Mullen.
Yep.
Clearing.
Mullen, tobacco, and CBD.
Ooh.
Let me drill a little bit.
Caught on camera.
Yeah, so now we have this grid made. So kind of keep in check with yourself. Notice when things start getting a little out of hand and out of control or a little fiery. And remind yourself to kind of cool down right now, because if you get into a fight with somebody inside your own house, you don't really have anywhere else to go.
Yeah.
So kind of
Unless you
keep
want to
that
sleep in the garage.
right. And it's like you don't need that. We have ways to get around all of it and make sure everybody feels seen and heard while keeping ourself to our integrity and spacing. So with that said, have a great lunar cycle, and we'll see you on the next one for the new year, first moon of the year. Take care.